Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Al Stock Trades. All right, guys. So in this video, we're going to go ahead and talk about two main top stocks that I think are going to do really well for this fourth industrial revolution that we're living through. Let me just go ahead and play this nice little graphics here, guys. Okay. But overall, I think this is going to be a good video. So sit back, relax, and let's go ahead first talk about CDNS. Just a little bit of background. CDNS sells software, hardware tools, and pre-designed components to help electronic companies design complex chips and circuits. If you don't recall, back in 2008, the stock was trading at $2.42. And then now you can see it's just gone higher and higher and higher and higher and higher and higher. Yep, keeps going up and higher and higher and higher and higher, all the way up to around $300+. In fact, this is how it looks like now. So from a technical standpoint, we got to shorten the axis here to show you all from $2 all the way up to this price. So from a technical standpoint, this company, interestingly, in 2011, it would be nice to see the free cash flow from this company, but overall, back in 2011, but overall, this company has just remarkable. Has been trading above its 58-day simple moving average. So overall, we're going to go ahead and talk about the fundamentals. What I like about this company is overall the price targets of this analyst price targets from this company has increased dramatically. And in fact, if you guys want access to this as part of our stock terminal, this is the exact command that I use today to go ahead and pull this up. It said ramped up a bit past year, scary to go into stocks that has risen so much, just like NVIDIA. So actually, that's incorrect. Stocks that are over especially their RSI. No. Sorry, my dog here. That are really near or oversold territory. When in reality, this is it's actually not oversold from the RSI component. But even then, when you have an oversold territory, overbought territory, it gets to a point where you have to figure out why stocks have risen this much. So from a fundamental standpoint, this rise is actually justified. It's backed up by fundamentals, which I'm going to talk to you right now about. So actually, I do not share the sentiment, and this is why a lot of folks lose money in the market because you don't want to you don't want to be a value trapped investor, right? So overall, we have the revenues from 2015 as 1.5 billion all the way up till now to around $4 billion. We have an 89% gross margins, meaning that they get, they get to retain 90% almost of their earnings, right? The net income here is $1 billion now, and it went all the way from 159 million to $1 billion. Earnings per share has grown dramatically, literally no dilution at all. In fact, they're doing share buybacks from 10 years ago. Book value has gone from $4 all the way up to $12.65, with a free cash flow of $277 million to $1.27 billion. So I would say, take this as a case study, and then in the next 5 years, investigate how this stock does. And then you can add it on to your neural network from experience, right? But overall, working capital gone down a little bit. Definitely some self investments here, but overall, this is the intrinsic value that we pulled up. We're utilizing, assuming that they're going to grow with their free cash flow like this, using the historical 2015, approximately almost 10 years of data of net income. They're growing around 26%. So there is upside to this company at around 11%. However, companies like this, especially that are involved in setting up the next era of evolution, of human evolution, which is the fourth industrial revolution, it's very hard to put a value on a company so valuable as this that designs these systems. I made this graph to help show you the evolution of humankind. So we'll start up to this X point here. So this was the Stone Age era. It took 2.3 million years to go from the Stone Age era to the Neolithic Revolution. Then it took 8,000 years to go from the Neolithic Revolution to the ancient civilization. Then 2,500 years to basically go on to the next medieval phase. Then early modern phase 400, industrial phase 300, modern technology phase 200. So if you were to go to the most earliest of human history and compare it to now, you can see the evolutionary phases are actually a lot more condensed, meaning that they're happening faster. This is a logarithmic scale. So that means that the next evolution phase should come in about 100 years, which we are experiencing as of right now, the AI technology where the computer can think for itself. But what's interesting is once the computer thinks for itself, the next evolution will be probably 50 years, 25 years. So we're going to be torpedoing through time so fast that I wouldn't be surprised if in the next 200 years, 300 years, we become a multi-planetary species. Okay. So why am I talking about this? Well, because we have to see the bigger picture. And the bigger picture is this future relies on chips. It relies on computers. Companies like this that are going to be benefiting from this. Okay. So there's this company here, CDNS, very bullish on the company. We'll go ahead and monitor it. And it's definitely in our horizon. I'll share some thoughts on recession at the end of the video. Remind me if I forget. Here's another company called ANET, Arista Networks. For some reason, there's been a lot of insider selling, but I'm just surprised why there's been a lot of insider selling, given maybe just insiders have held for such a long time, given that this company is just like, I'm mind blown. And by the way, for folks that are in our stock terminal, we've been talking about this company as well as CDNS for quite some time, and it's done remarkably well. But speaking about ANET, let's almost like Skynet, right? Let's go ahead and take a look at ANET here. Again, same story, right? Just remarkable just increase, right? In fact, back in 2016, it was the $13 stock, right? And now it's a $300 stock. Again, remarkable company. And most folks don't know about this, which is why I'm kind of put it on the radar. Again, you can see analyst price targets are in red, which you can basically see here, and they are through the roof, right? There's a lot of love on Wall Street for this company. I'm going to explain to you why. Again, if you guys want access to this, you can use just this command within their stock terminal. So let's talk about a little bit of the background. So ANET specializes in cloud networking solutions, designing and selling hardware and software for data centers, campuses, and internet routing. Their business model revolves around cloud networking components. Like they've developed cell network switches, operating systems, which manages those switches, and ultimately helps facilitate whatever infrastructure a company has. It's able to utilize its systems to make their customers more efficient. So overall, if you go ahead and take a look at the fundamentals, you can see we went through a revenue of $584 million to $5.8 billion with a gross margin of 61%. Net income is just miraculous. Just look at the net income, $69 million from 2014 to $2 billion. And if you think that's crazy, the book value went from $287 to $23.17. This is going to blow your mind. It went from a free cash flow of $119 million to $2 billion freaking dollars. $2 billion in free cash flow. Now, what's interesting is you can see here the free cash flow went from $448 million to $2 billion. That is a huge jump in free cash flow. I don't think the market is looking at this right now. Maybe it's under the radar. I don't know what the hell's going on with the market, but it's sleeping on this one. This is $2 billion freaking dollars here. Okay. So that's really, that's incredible. Just look at the working capital. This is just beautiful, right? So I went ahead and did two different types of intrinsic values. I went ahead and did the composite 10-year analysis of the net income growing at 46%, which is pretty unreal. But again, it is the data. And then we did multiple levels of free cash flow. And we're getting like $940. Now, again, it was actually even higher, especially if they continue to grow at $2 billion. But again, we only have 1 year of it. So you got to be a little bit okay with it, right? So for this one, we went ahead and used the most recent 2019 instead of going to 2014 with a modest of 25% year over year growth. And we're getting around 431. Definitely has gas in the tank for sure. Okay. But overall, this is kind of my analysis when it comes to these types of companies. These are really good stocks. Follow them, continue to monitor them. The difference between this and then 2020 and 2021 and 2022, these companies are actually providing, I mean, come on, $2 billion in free cash flow, right? You can't argue with that, right? So that's a pretty, big thing here. Okay. Now in terms of recession, I'll tell you, no one has ever predicted a recession, right? On average, the average a recession will happen is approximately 20 to 25%. In fact, let's go ahead and let's see if we can ask our stock terminal to see if it knows the answer. So let's go ahead and go to stock terminal GPT. Let's ask it. Throughout a given year, what is the probability of a recession? It should be 20%. That's the answer. Can you give me the overall percentage? Oh, wait. I forgot to hit at command. Oops. Overall, what is the percent probability of a recession happening in any given year? I would like the percentage. There it is. You see? Good job. It knows. Good. So ultimately, the answer is based on historical data and economic indicators. By the way, this is included within the stock terminal. The probability of a recession occurring in any given year is typically 15 to 20%. Economic cycles are a natural part of financial systems, yada, yada, yada. Okay. Again, if you want access to this and everything I showed you, there'll be a link down below. Overall, no one will ever predict a recession, but it's approximately 20% every year, right? That's approximate. There's obviously some tell away, giveaway signs where you can be maybe 30, 40, 50%, 60% predictive. But again, anyone who tells you there's going to be a recession is basically lying out of your ass. Okay. They're lying. That's something that, it gets floated around and ultimately has let a lot of people lost a lot of money, sadly. But overall, I'm pretty bullish with this stocks I went ahead and looked over. And yeah, I'm curious to hear your thoughts. Thank you for sharing. But yeah, I definitely think there's more gas in the tank, especially for these companies. All right, folks, I will see you on the next one.